Alright, in this short demonstration, we are going to compare two of my most favorite pens to take quick notes as well as to sign documents in general. So one is my good old friend, which is Uniball Signo, and the other one is Pentel Energel, which is the Pentel Energel alloy RT variant that comes with a gold plated body. Of course, the body is totally metal and it is gold plated, and this metal is aluminium, right? Okay. The thing is, I used to have this pen, this one, the Uniball Signo, for a long time, and it kind of still is my favorite. But the problem with this is, like, as long as I'm writing at home, it's okay. I'm doing my rough work or doing my own research work where I write a lot on rough papers or even on good quality papers. Wouldn't be an issue. That's fine. The thing is, when I carry it in the pocket, this chrome clip, that actually is a problem because it is actually iron based, which has a very thin layer of nickel, and it's so thin layer of the nickel plating is that eventually the iron beneath the nickel plating actually starts reacting with the moistured air around it, so it gets rusted and doesn't look good to carry this pen with a rusted clip around. It is fairly protected right now. I've been keeping it pretty safe, so you can see there is not much of rusting. But trust me, as you start using this pen more and more, you are bound to keep it outside, and that's when you will see nasty rusting over it. So that's why I was looking for a pen which would be retractable, which will have this click buttons, right? So but will be elegant and rust free, and at the same time it would be compatible with the refill that I use in Uniball. Trust me, the Uniball refill, which is UMR 87 or UMR 87E, that refill has a very good quality ink, and I have bought about hundreds of refills in stock so that I would never run out of them. So if I started using a pen which would be not compatible with the refills that I already have in stock, all those refills would be a waste. And that's why I was looking for a pen which would be compatible with the refill that comes with Unisigno 207. Okay. The reason why I always choose to have retractable pens is that if I have a pen which has a pressure cap or a screw cap, like this pen here, right, which is Uniball 217, there would be a problem in writing. So let me show you. When you want to write like this, that's fine, but in this case you will end up losing the cap, but I don't want to end up losing the cap. So the moment when you attach the cap to the back of the pen, what happens is the center of gravity shifts a little upward, and that means you have to put more pressure using your fingers, especially as the on the hinge finger at the hinge point, to keep the pen from from rotating because of the torque of gravity. And that is why I feel it uncomfortable. That's why I keep such pens which have good quality. Like this one is actually of a of very excellent quality, but I use it at home where I would not be able to be afraid of losing the cap. And it's for the same reason I also avoid using a fountain pen, which I appreciate for its elegance. But again, fountain pen ink is always liquid based. There is nothing that you can do with it. Do about it. Although they give superb writing experience. With fountain pen ink, they dry pretty slow because they are water based ink. And then, unless you are using super quality paper, the ink is going to bleed through, and that is a big problem, because when you are basically given documents to sign by others, you have no control over the paper quality, and in most of the cases when you sign, your signature bleeds through. Sorry. So now let's compare the two pens that I have, the inks. Well, whatever ink wins, I can simply use that refill in this pen, which I will be carrying as my prime driver, right? But let's see if the default refill in this, which is this one, which is Pentel. It's pretty easy. It's basically Pentel Energel LR7. Just Pentel LR7. If you go through it, Pentel 07 LR7 or just Pentel LR7. If you remember that also, you will be able to find these refills online or from, yeah, the best part is any standard or a good bookstore or stationery shop, you will be able to find Pentel refills, but not so easy for Uniball refills. I always order them from Amazon or Flipkart or from Uniball's website. Anyways, let's start with Pentel's test. So this is Pentel Energel. See, the writing experience is always good with both these pens. Like this pen also writes very good. Let's start with this uh, metal alloy RT uses uh, again Pentel LR7 refill. Okay, look, I've written that. Does it bleed through? It is. Does it smudge? You see, no smudging happens. No smudging, and it does have certain bleeding, a certain little bit, not much, but I think some impressions are there, not bleed through it. I don't see it bleeding through at all, but some sort of smudging happen. So some sort of impression, back impression does happen, right? And we will use the waterproof test, but first let us do the same test with this pen. This is Uniball Signo 207 uses, let me show you the refill if you want to see it. This is Uniball UMR, as it is written here, UMR 87E. That compatible. I mean, you can put the Uniball refill in Pentel's refill in Uniball, no issues. So uses UMR 87E refill. Now, if I have these, no smudging, nothing. No smudging happens, right? And let's see the back impression. You see, if you compare the back impressions, I applied almost the same pressure while writing. You can see, if you want to see the back impressions, look, this is the Pentel's pen, and this is the Uniball pen. The back impression is much less in Uniball as it is in Pentel, and one of the reasons could be since the Pentel's pen is totally metal body and it has a much larger weight than this pen. So of course, due to that pressure, also back impression would come. So I'm not going to mark down for back impression a lot, because the heavier pen will naturally have a larger back impression, but here is the moment of truth. So let's see how does How do these inks fare with waterproof test? Um, so I'm using a swab. And let's say, okay, that's Pentel waterproof test. Totally, you see, some of the ink actually has come to the swab. Uh, but as such, you see, if it's bad quality paper, the ink is going to spread out a little bit, but not as such any damage to the legibility. Right now, let's go to see. The thing is, the Pentel's ink is richer. When you write with the Pentel's ink, it appears much richer than the Uniball Signo. It is much richer, darker, right? But this is what happens to it if there is some water over it. For Uniball, I'm using again a clean swab. Let's see. Okay, applying that. Okay, look, the Uniball is much more waterproof as compared to the Pentel. You see, when there is water, the Pentel ink actually spreads out. Uniball's ink remains more or less where it was. So look at that. This is the Pentel's the Uniball side, right? This is the Uniball side, as you can see, and this is the Pentel side. That means clearly less ink from Uniball came onto the swab, while more ink from Pentel came onto the swab, and that is exactly the reason why the Uniball refill costs around 30 bucks per piece, right? A Pentel would cost 20. So there is a price difference also. Although the ink looks richer with Pentel than with Uniball, but I think it is much better to use the Uniball Signo ink for better writing experience. Less, see, both of them are smudge proof. Bleed through doesn't happen with anyone, as we have already seen. The bleed through is negligibly less. Right here, look, I put water. The Pentel one actually penetrated the paper and went onto the back page, while the Uniball didn't. You see the clear difference. Oh my God, the two pages deep. First page, and this is the second page. Yeah, two pages, two pages deep. It penetrated after putting water, of course, right? So clearly, we need Uniball Signo 207 is the superior ink, and it is much safer to sign important documents with this one and carry it as your signature pen to sign or take quick notes or any notes, for example, where you don't control the quality of paper that you write on. That will be it. See you in the next.